I hope you're doing well this morning. I hope you slept well. It's early. You know, I was up till the wee hours of the morning, and I have not done that for decades. Well, I've napped on and off for decades, but never have I stayed up and actually stayed in my living room until like 2:30 a.m. That was wild. I got some cards out here already. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you. Okay, what we got here is we have a 10 of Cups union. There is a foundation here. People are coming together in this space, but we do have what is this? The Island of Lost Souls. What is the law? When dealing with others, assuming one's superiority can lead to cruelty, or worse, the exertion of power by fear or force. The feeling that one is or knows better than anyone else can be mitigated through empathy, recognizing what we have in common with one another. Aren't we all hopeful animals in some form? So there's animal-like people, islands of lost souls, that want to know what rules apply here and must they be obeyed. So it appears to me that we've got some folks who may have been not really, maybe there hasn't been any kind of structure. Maybe the structure that is changing. Yeah, so in the challenge position, we have King of Cups and Midnight. Gremlins. King of Cups and Midnight. Some rules are made to be followed, and doing so can make the difference between a sweet circumstance or quickly multiplying elements of chaos. Timing can be everything. If things take a turn for the worse, it could be helpful to shine a light on the problem rather than let it fester in the dark. In times of festivity, be mindful in your gift giving and remember that personal experience can make holidays challenging for some. Take comfort in doing what is responsible. So it could be that there's a King of Cups, divine masculine, loving divine masculine, who's dealing with gremlins at midnight. He might be dealing with some kind of animals at midnight, wanting to know what the rules are. Do we have to follow them? It could be that King of Cups, love of divine masculine, is dealing with the midnight gremlins. In the subconscious, we've got a King of Swords, control, dictator, brutal, trickster. We've got a brutal trickster here, King of Swords reversed, which is it. I'm everything you were ever afraid of. So this King of Swords in the reverse is everything that you were afraid of. This animal. So there's animals in the territory of this beautiful divine love that this King of Cups is dealing with, the gremlins at midnight. This King of Swords in the reverse says he's everything that you were ever afraid of. He's a trickster. Appearances can be deceiving and playful seeming mischief, especially if coded as harmless, can be fueled by subterranean animus. No one is ever just kidding. Bright, distracting balloons can hide a toothy maw. A figure as old as time, the trickster will use your own thoughts and fears against you if they can. Be mindful of manipulation as you proceed. So, 10 of Cups, you've got some animals or people with the animal-like instinct. They haven't been necessarily exerting any kind of moral or ethical boundaries within or upon themselves. They're tricksters. They could be playing with this. They might want to come in and try to dominate this realm, this space. You got some animalistic tricksters they want to come in and do with that. So you got divine masculine. He's dealing with the midnight gremlins. In the recent past, we've got the Empress here. She's the mother. She's very abundant. Illness. So in the recent past, we could have had the Empress dealing with an illness. This says, Cujo, who let the monster out of my closet? It could be that the Empress has let the monster out of her closet. She's prioritizing her own needs in difficult times. An illness or other life disruption can be restricting, making us feel confined by limitations it has imposed. Being in its grip can also drive out of character behavioral changes. It's important to keep compassion for ourselves and others who may be struggling, but it's also vital to protect ourselves from harmful situations that are beyond our control. So, who let the monster out of my closet? So apparently the Empress has let her monster out of her closet. She's prioritizing her own needs in difficult times. She's got Cujo here protecting her. I saw the other day a pit bull, a gray pit bull, a big, beautiful pit bull. And he had big, beautiful wings. Oh, yeah. So this Empress has Cujo here. Now, Cujo had rabies. You know, this is a very old movie. I don't know. It's like the 80s or something. But he was a very scary boy. Big dog. And he like infected people he bit with this rabies, so they had horrible slow deaths. It could be that this Empress has a beautiful protector here that's going to bring a lot of trouble to those who are trying to hurt her. Maybe she has been dealing with an illness. Maybe she's been dealing with people who are ill. Take it as it resonates. We've got the Seven of Cups here. In the intentions and expectations, Seven of Cups. And we've got nature in the reverse. So nature, LMNO, nature. So there are Seven of Cups here. So there's an illusion. Somebody's been casting an illusion about this Empress. They're coming, but it's in the reverse. So whatever it is, they're not coming. Nature will take its course regardless. Nature will take its course regardless of the illusions that have been cast upon this Empress. We've got the Sun, a rebirth here in the near future. Joy, success. Joy, success. Ice. This came out last night. Ice. The Thing. It's weird and it's pissed off, whatever it is. And it's resisting negative forces. So you are identifying a problem, you're dealing with it, and you're keeping it from spreading. Resisting negative forces. You've got something that was there and now it's pissed. We got fire and ice, man. Now I'm going to have to find that song and post it. Fire and ice. And we got some, yeah, they're pissed. These people don't know what they have woken. You know, they're dealing with all those things that they forced into being recognized as mythological characters. It's like many of you who had your family trees bound or cursed or hexed. These people were trying to claim all the wealth that belonged to each family tree and then drain it of that wealth and then make your family tree go away. That's what they've been doing. They've been trying to reformat the life that has been permitted here. They wanted to transform and terraform everything. Something is pissed. It's had a rebirth. We've got a 10 of swords here. Somebody is in utter defeat. Oh man, they're hitting rock bottom. We've got book. Let me in. Oh yeah, they're getting haunted. So somebody's in a 10 of swords nightmare. The Baba Duk. You'll see him if you look. Somebody's being haunted. They have some kind of beast in their house. They might have conjured up some kind of beast that they pissed off really bad. Whatever it is, they conjured it up and they're pissed. They're pissed and they're giving them a 10 of swords. Books are portals that can take us to other worlds and let us inhabit the consciousness of the characters found in their pages. But does the door open both ways? What or whom might we let in? Made manifest, a bad idea cannot be destroyed or denied. It will pop up again, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Yeah. They called forth something. They called forth something here, and it's pissed. They're in a nightmare. They're hitting rock bottom. It's like, let me in. Look at this being. It's like, let me in. And people are freaking out. They're having nightmares. They're breaking down. They opened up their own can of worms, man. We've got the 10 of Wands and the environment. They're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. Fertility. They're overwhelmed. The Wicker Man. Please come say, how do? Self-righteousness can lead us down a path largely of our own making that can be personally disastrous. Remaining open to cultural and spiritual differences creates the possibility of understanding and connection with others and can help avoid outcomes rooted in foolish judgment. Rituals, be they personal or social, may be productive in ways not immediately apparent. The energy is coming to you. Stay open to new ideas. So it's like people's self-righteousness. These rituals that they were doing, rooted in foolish judgment, has caused the energy to come to you. So it's like whatever they were doing to try to heavenly burden you, they're overwhelmed. The energy is coming to you. Fertility. It's like whatever this fertility is, it's like all the animals are there. We've got people around the sundial that's like Stonehenge. Straw man. There's the rabbit. People wearing the fish mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. So they're heavily burdened. They're overwhelmed. Fertility. It could be that all these mask wearers are very much overwhelmed. Like they overwork themselves trying to manifest something with this Burning Man and all these masks and all these rituals, like these Stonehenge, Druid sacrifices and whatnot. We've got the 5 of Swords of defeat. So somebody's feeling defeated. They're in conflict. They're receiving some kind of abuse. The book. They opened the freaking book. They opened some kind of portal with their book. It's in their house now. Trap. They're trapped. They're trapped. Get out. I mean, I told you not to go into that house. Reluctance to disturb social norms in unfamiliar situations can lead to peril. It can be awkward to remove yourself from circumstances that feel wrong, and it's easy to doubt your own judgment. It feels right to give people the benefit of the doubt and exhausting to do otherwise. But others may be counting on your sense of propriety, waiting to sink you into the depths of their own schemes. Take the advice of a trusted friend. It helps to have an outside perspective. So we've got, they could be in defeat. They were told not to go in that house. They've been met with a shotgun in the face. They're crying. They're upset. There's a lot of people that are pointing at them. They're drinking their wine. They're laughing. They're like, I told you not to go in there. It was a trap. They went in there anyway, and now they're experiencing an utter defeat. They're really upset. They're in the Eight of Cups disappointment energy. They failed at whatever it was they were doing, and now they're reaping the consequences of their actions. They're in grief. Pet cemetery. So these pet cemetery people, whatever it was that they called forth from the grave, they called it forth from the freaking grave, and it's got them all messed up. Whatever they did, whatever they called forth, they thought it was a great idea to open the freaking book and call forth a boogeyman. Look at her. She's all freaking out now. Well, you did it to your damn self. You freaking did you freaking called forth the dead. You called forth the freaking dead, darling. And, you know, it's okay to let go. Just let go. It can be hard to recognize that sometimes an end is better. Grieving a loss can drive us to do things we would never consider otherwise. Things that we know, that we've even seen, result in terrible outcomes. Revisionist thinking can take hold in a place somewhere between optimism and despair. It's okay to let go. So we've got people here, they're very disappointed. They got to find a new path. They have disappointed. They're in grief. They've got to let go. There's a bunch of dead people. They keep raising dead people to do freaking murderous things, man. They keep calling upon the dead to come in and do murderous things. And it's stuck to them now. They're having a freaking nightmare. And it's like they keep proliferating fertility. It's like they keep coming. They don't ever stop. It's like all of those rituals that they've done in the past, they're all coming back. Like the divine stated that, you know, every nasty thing that they did to her, a high-ranking official, shall be done to them, and they can't stop it. It's growing. It's like it's fertility. It keeps proliferating. The burden keeps getting heavier and heavier and heavier because they did so many rituals over the centuries, and it's all coming back to them. There's no getting out of it. They're in grief. Other side, friendship. They had created friends with the other side wearing masks. So they got a lot of these these pet cemetery people that they called forward using some kind of book to call forward the dead or the demons or scary people to come in and do a living person a thing. And so now they created friendship with the other side to wear masks as the living and F them over and then stick them there. So those are their friends. They have, warrior and dreams. They might be fighting in their dream space. They might be wanting to run away from people wanting to eat them. They're the new fodder, man. They're paranoid of everybody in the water. There might be something coming up out of the water. We got twins and the call. There's the twins making the call for dinner. Oh yeah, dinner. This whole family is under fire because of the curses that they have sent out to affect other people's fates. And now they're looking for now they want to escape Earth. They want to escape Earth. So they've been calling forth all these entities to affect other people's fates, trying to escape Earth. Now it's face off. It's face off. Do the dance, man, because they are coming at you very quickly because of all the lies that you told. This boogeyman is celebrating because they're hungry, man, and they are in the deep. This devil. These people are saying, help me. Help me, help me, help me. The cat, in combination with the children of the night, has these people in shock. There could be a whole neighborhood in shock because they're being harvested. Somebody thinks that you're a genius. Somebody's genius caused all this. But you are love, and you manifested love, and you are manifesting a wonder of the world. Perhaps you are a wonder of the world. Perhaps people see you like King Kong. Like you are so big. Your energy is so big. Your purpose is so big. These people can't deal with it. They got to call up the pet cemetery and get animals and other little demon-like things to come in and try to knock you down. But you're just manifesting love. You're building yourself anew with love every time. The wonder of the freaking world. They're obsessed with you. They're obsessed with you and your experience in the woods, your lifetime story. They're obsessed with you and what it is you have done lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And, you know, now they're in grief. They fell into their own damn trap. They're crying because they opened the freaking Pandora's box, and they're in a 10 of Wands and a 10 of Swords, abuse, and an 8 of Cups. Nobody called this forward except for them. They're the ones who manifested this stuff for themselves. And now it's like, oh my gosh, we gotta go somehow get it to stick to somebody else. You know, they called it up intending for it to stick to you, collective. And now they're in grief because it's in their house. It's in their damn house. And it's grabbing them. It's like literally grabbing them, touching them, freaking them out. And they keep proliferating. They keep growing. They keep freaking all these rituals, everything. It keeps growing. There's more and more and more. You got Burning Man. You got the goat head mask. You've got the rabbit mask. You've got the fish mask. You've got the Stonehenge and all those druidic rituals, sacrificial rituals that were done in the past. I know that I was sacrificed by druids a long time ago. And they drank my blood and ate my flesh, and my spirit was in a hole watching them, begging them not to do it. And they did it anyway. These clever masculines. These animalistic masculines. They have nothing inside of them unless they're eating and consuming a divine feminine. And of course, they got their copycats, chicks with dicks or whatever, out there pretending to be mothers and women. So you got a 10 of Cups here. There is a happy reunion for this marriage. There's a happy ending. But you got some very animalistic people here who are wondering, what are the rules and do they have to be followed? Tired. You're tired of dealing with this. You deserve a break now. Like the King of Cups is dealing with the gremlins at the midnight hour. Love of divine masculine. Yeah, the gremlins, the snakes, the gremlins, and the midnight hour coming in for a snack to snack on those people that are sleeping, getting ready for work the next day. Yeah. So this king, love of divine masculine, is dealing with those gremlins who were tempted by the snake. Those people come in at midnight, wake you up every midnight, and they want to harvest you. Snack, 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 snack. We've got a dictator here. Ooh, he's a control freak and he's a trickster. Now, this little person, they could appear very innocent. They could appear as a younger masculine. They may appear as pure, but they're full of freaking malice. Nasty, nasty critter. They've been accustomed to brutalizing everybody and everything, and I don't doubt it that they were wearing a clan mask when they did it. Drowning. They're going under. They're going under. The Empress is here. She has released her, what was that? Cujo. Let me see. Cujo. Illness. So, Cujo, who let the monster out of my closet? The Empress has let the monster out of her closet. She's prioritizing her own needs. She's protected by Cujo. Cujo is going to tear you up. Face it. The truth has set this person free. And Cujo is gonna tear you up if you mess around. We've got nature. Nature is going to follow its course, whether you like it or not. There's a lot of illusions that are being cast, or there's a lot of opportunity here that people wanted to possess. So they decided to call up the boogeyman. Go get me that prize, boogeyman. They're reaching out for love, but love is eluding them. Love doesn't want to have anything to do with these guys. They know. Love knows. Love knows, man. There's a rebirth here. Fire and ice. There's a rebirth of something, and it's pissed. We've got ice, fire and ice. There's celebration under the sun. Distance, far away, physically, emotionally. Distance. There might be something that's very pissed here, something that has rebirth, that is distant. They might be keeping your enemies at a distance. They might be really pissed off about what they have been doing here to the sun beings. This could be a protector. This could be the actual light-filled earth angelic receiving an upgrade, getting reconnected with everything that had been blocked off or shut down in them. God might be refiring them up. You might be keeping something at a distance. Ten of Swords. These people are in utter defeat and hitting rock bottom. They opened the book and it says, "Let me in." So they're the new fodder, according to the Divine Most High. They're the new fodder. They are the ones that are going to get snacked on. They're the ones who called forward these entities to try to trap people, and now those entities are stuck to them. And not just the ones that they did in this lifetime, but the ones that they did in every lifetime. The fertility, they're manifested, like the burdens that they have done over time, thousands of years, they're all coming back. Like they grew. They kept birthing these things, these mask wearing things. They kept birthing them, and now they're being burdened by them. They brought forth so many of them with this book. They're hungry, man. They didn't get to feed on the light-bearing beings. God said, "No, I'm tired of you feeding on my family," and that's it. Now they're going to get fed upon. They're the ones who called them forward. They're the ones who thought that they were better than everybody else. They're the ones who were trying to destroy other people for their shine, for their gifts, to destroy their love and their future. They've lost. They've lost. Ten of Swords, rock bottom. May they fall as deeply as they forced you to fall. May they climb out of the same fiery freaking pit that they forced you to crawl out of. They're in a Ten of Wands burden because they've been doing this for centuries, and it's ending. It could be that their fertility is ending. They will no longer be able to procreate. Their family tree is done. The family tree was in the reverse. It's all going to South Node. They're all going into the place, into this trap that they set for you. 5 of Swords, defeat, abuse, trap. They were warned not to go into that house. I don't know which one of your houses they went into, but they were warned not to go into that house. And they did it anyway. They're guilty of breaking their promises. They went into a house. They went into your house. They made promises to you, and then they betrayed you. They're guilty of breaking their promises. They're trapped by their own cleverness, by their own clever wiles, and they're in an 8 of Cups, regret, disappointment. They're in grief, pet cemetery freaking grief. They got the little kids. They're coming at them with little knives. They got these women out there, you know, they're like, hey, I'm hungry. They're like, so the other day there was a group of masculines talking, and they said, oh, there she is. And a woman, a feminine, came in, and she said, Morgue want a dick. And so these guys had to have sex with this thing because she needed energy. It needed energy. And they were complaining that it was insatiable. Like it wanted more and more and more energy. This is a needless feeder. This is a dead person. They've called forth freaking entities from the grave. And now they're being attacked by these entities that they themselves called forward to harm beautiful people who weren't doing anything to them. They've lost. They're in grief. They're in grief. All their undead people are pissed. They got their utensils, their spoon, their forks, their knives. They want to eat. You're leaving. You're leaving them in ruins. Everything that you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. They're leaving. They're in disappointment. They failed. They're in grief. Pet cemetery is after them like nothing else. All these animals that they killed, all these people that they did that to, sacrificed, the undead that they called forward and perhaps gave a cloned body to, they're pissed. They got to eat, man. They're going to decompose if they don't eat. And these people are responsible for that. You're leaving. They're leaving. They're leaving. The divine stated that in this winter, there's going to be a, what did they say? A rapid decline. A rapid decline. So they're going to fall away. They're going to be snatched, and they're going to be taken into the fate that they had tried to manifest for you. They did not see this coming. They are in grief. You're being very, very fierce. You're being very, very aggressive. And these people cannot free themselves from a sticky situation. They put many flames, many earth angels into the dark side. And now these earth angels are coming after their ass. These childish people weren't willing to settle down or be responsible. They kept knocking everybody's life into pieces. And now everything that they built on all those many flames is crumbling. They're struggling here. They're going to go get into a fiery pit is what they're going to do for using love as an escape route and then neglecting it. Using love as an escape plan. They've been gaining contract and then sacrificing people into lower vibrational realities while they take their ticket to heaven or whatever that is, their ticket to the other side. And then they flip and copycat them. And then they elevate themselves while the one who held the ticket is then descended into some hellhole. This is what they've been doing with their little precious book. dirty deeds and they're done dirt cheap. So you've got the Ten of Cups here. There is a reunion. There is a reunion. We've got some animalistic folks out there wondering, what are the rules? Do they have to be followed? You're emotionally exhausted from dealing with this. You deserve a break now. You've got some animals that are stalking you, some animal type figures. The trolls, the feral, people who had no morals, ethics, or no boundaries for themselves. They didn't limit themselves on anything that they would do. They just went all out, as cruel as they could be, is what they did. And they didn't care. There's some conversation happening. There's a group of people talking. Everybody's talking. You might be telling people about, in this community, about what you did, how you dealt with these animals. Maybe there's some people who have been at the mercy of these animals. Maybe they just want to know the rules. Maybe they've been kind of feral. Maybe they were led down the wrong path. They've been behaving in a way that had no real guidelines or anything. You're tired. You deserve a break. People are talking. King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. Oh, and we got sigh in the reverse. Sigh in the reverse. So there's no remorse. We've got an oppressive dictator, trickster, going under. They're drowning. This clown is drowning. We've got journey in the reverse. They're drowning because you didn't make a journey. You didn't go. You're tired and you deserve a break, but you didn't go anywhere. You didn't leave this earth. You didn't leave this realm. You're getting the break that you deserve. It's like these crazy little locos, you know, they're in the territory and they're wondering what the new rules are. They're mask wearers and they have been playing a role and they're like, okay, well, what do we have to do? Do we have to follow the rules? Can we be a shitheel still? Can we go out and hurt people for gain? I mean, they have no sense of what is right and what is wrong, what is theirs and what is somebody else's. The Empress has released her Cujo. They gotta face it. The truth has set her free. If they try to mess with this Empress, Cujo's gonna bite them and they're gonna get sick. Constancy. She's consistent. She's consistent. So find out the truth. The truth will set you free. She's very consistent in whatever she does. Even when this bad thing is happening. We've got Seven of Cups, opportunities, and then nature in the reverse. So nature will run its course no matter what happens. And we got some folks out there trying to connect to love. But love is eluding them. Nature's going to run its course regardless. If they tried to cast some illusions over this Empress, but nature is going to run its course regardless. We got folks reaching out for love, but they want money. They're reaching out. They want your money, Empress. You've got a rebirth here. There's something that has been reborn, and it's pissed. It could be at a distance. Maybe it's keeping folks away from you. This is like Cujo is gonna bite somebody's face off. This Empress is protected by somebody who doesn't know what the hell it is. They're like, what is it? I don't know, but it's pissed, and you better stay away from this Empress. We've got a surprise coming up out of the water. Ten of Swords, burden, utter defeat, rock bottom. They called for some entity out of the book. It's saying, let me in. And they have lost. They feel as though they've been abandoned. And there is a deeper connection coming. They're going to go deep, 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 deep. Because this has been going on a long, long time. There's no lover here. They've lost their lover. They've lost their lover. Their lover may have been flipped into South Node. Utter defeat. This woman called forth this little monster. It says, let me in. It might have gotten into her body, might have gotten into her mind. They lost. They lost their lover. Their lover is in the reverse. They have no lover. 10 of Wands burden, fertility. So all of those rituals that they did in the history, this is like Druid sacrifice. It's Stonehenge. We've got the fish mask, the rabbit mask, the goat mask. We've got this little dot in the third eye. We've got Burning Man. So they're overwhelmed by all of these things that they've done in the past. Accumulatively, it's bringing an ending to them. They're heavily burdened by all of the things they've done in the past. It's bringing an ending to them. It is an ending. It's time to let go and make a fresh start. Everybody who did that throughout the history, they're being let go. Ending. And we've got room. This is an ending of them having access to the field of consciousness. 5 of Swords defeat. They were very abusive. They were trapping people by making promises and then breaking promises. They're guilty of lying and cheating. They were told not to go into that particular room, and they did it anyway. They were told not to go into the house of this one, and they did it anyway. They made a promise. They broke that promise. They were guilty of lying and cheating and stealing. This Empress. They made her sick. She's recovered from an illness. And they're in despair. These are men or so-called entities portraying themselves as. I don't like to call them men because they're definitely not divine masculine worthy. They're not worthy of being called that. They're not human. I don't know what species they are, or if it's just a fallen freaking angel or what, but they are trying to figure out how to live forever here in a flesh suit because they don't believe in a higher power. They're not part of a team outside of this realm. They're just here. They're in an 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups, disappointment, and in grief. We've got Pet Cemetery. The things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love you deserve. They are leaving. These people are leaving. So these people, we got Widower. Some of these folks may have called forth a woman from the grave. They're in grief because they're going back into the grave. They're leaving. Those people who were called forth from the grave, taking bodies, synthetic bodies that were animated simply by harvesting energy off of others, they're going back into the grave because they're the living dead. They're walking around, but they're not able to, they don't have any energy. They're not able to support themselves with their own source. They're not connected to any kind of energy. They have to feed on the energy of people. So they're not, this is wild, man. So we've got a female out here that appears to have been called forth from the dead. She's been copycatting and pretending. She did some things with this book, the Book of the Dead or something. They've lost. Their lover is in the reverse. And then we've got Widower and grief in the Pet Cemetery. This servant, enemy. This servant, enemy. Enemy of happy weddings. Or maybe this is an enemy servant that's in the grave now. And we've got a wedding here. So there's a wedding or people who have marriages or whatever. Maybe somebody is celebrating that somebody has perished here. I don't know. Or maybe somebody's celebrating a wedding. There's a new wedding here. Like people are falling away. People's getting a letter. Somebody might have gotten a letter. Somebody died. Somebody passed away. Somebody has left the realm. They're a widower. Somebody's a widower. Somebody has lost their woman. They've lost their lover. They've hit rock bottom. Like they went as low could be because of all these rituals throughout the centuries. They were a servant in the house. This could be a government official. I know that the Unseen have been talking about that lately. This is an enemy. This is an enemy. They're receiving they're sick. They're sick because they've received a message from the merchant about a misfortune for a friend. A friend. Somebody's prideful. They're arrogant regarding a sweetheart and their gift. We've got a priest here. Somebody's happy about a priest scholar. Maybe there's joy because this priest scholar, fortune, wife. They wanted this wife in prison. There's a younger woman in sorrow. They had hoped to be seen as an innocent person, but they're a pleasure seeker, targeting faithful love. We're waiting on the Lord. We got our wings. Very happy. This soldier thief is needing consolation. They're really upset because of this reunion. These false people who have lied, they're sick about it. They got to go to the doctor and they can't get out of their thoughts. They're sad. There's this old woman. They might have been led down a path of wrongdoing by this old woman, this old witch. This old ancient witch. She needed the energy. This is a shape-shifting witch. She needed the energy in order to appear as this young woman. And she didn't get it. People are really upset. This control system of the planet, they're not like you and I. Okay? They're just not. And they don't even like you, human being. They don't like you. And I don't know why people can't see that. They just continue to vote for these people who are up there so arrogant. But anyway, it looks like somebody called for their pet cemetery friends to do a thing, but they turned on them. They're the ones getting this. They've lost control of the dead with their magic tricks, with their rituals, their sacred Burning Man rituals. They certainly did a lot of them throughout the centuries. 10 of Cups, you got a happy reunion. There's an animal here wanting to know, what are the rules and do we have to follow them? You're emotionally exhausted and you deserve a break. People are talking. People are having conversation about those who did not earn any merit. So there's a lot of talk going about those animals who have sucked the life out of you. You know, people may not understand. There's some folks out there who say, you can't save anybody if you can't save everybody. And the thing of it is that not everybody is alive, man. Not everybody is an actual living person. They're like a corpse. They're a walking corpse, animating, continuing to be able to animate themselves only through sexual harvesting of energy. You may be discussing the animals. What was animalistic? What is acceptable? What isn't acceptable? You know, can they drain you of your energy? Well, no, man, that's not good. That's not moral. That's not good. We've got magic. So the King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. We've got sighs in the reverse. So there's no melancholy. We've got a schedule and magic. So there could be a ceremony on the schedule. There's a ceremony on the schedule. There is nothing to be sad about. This King of Cups is got a ceremony on the schedule for this this snake, these midnight gremlins. He's dealing with it. King of Swords in the reverse is a trickster. He's a dominator, tyrant, trickster, and he's going under. We've got Journey in the reverse. They were not able to make a journey. They're not going anywhere. They're going under is what they're doing. They're drowning. They're drowning. They're going down. They've lost. They're being rejected. So they're not making a journey. They're being rejected. You know, in the Bible, it says Jesus rode in on a horse or whatever. It could be this person was trying to ride in on some horse, but they've been rejected. It could be that people don't see them as they were trying to portray themselves. They're a trickster. This is a King of Swords in the reverse, a dominator, tyrant, trickster. And people can see that they're not who they say they are. The Empress has released Cujo. She's released her, what does that say? What do they say about Cujo? Illness. Cujo is going to bite you. Cujo is going to make you sick. Who let the monster out of my closet? She's prioritizing her own needs in difficult times. She was prioritizing everybody else. She was trying to raise these people up, and instead they were feeding on her, making her sick. And now they got to face it. She's very consistent in what it is. She has healed. She has abundance. She has released the monster out of her closet. These people are stressed. We've got constancy and stress. So yeah, the Empress was here. She might have been sick. She might have been being chased around by rabid dogs, dog-like people in bodies trying to make her sick. Face it, something isn't right. The truth has set her free, her consistency. And it could be that the consistency of this stress, she's free of this constant stress. She has recovered from an illness. She has let out the monster from in her closet. She is mightily protected by somebody who's very much devoted and even like crazy, insane so. She might be dealing with illness, the mentally ill, with their Seven of Cups illusions, but nature is going to follow its course anyway. Regardless of what they do, it's going to follow its course. They're reaching out, trying to connect. They want money. They're daydreaming about money. There's a rebirth. The sun is here, and we've got ice. Something ice. It's weird and pissed off. Resisting negative forces. She's got a mighty protector. The sun, the Christed beings have a mighty protector. It's weird and it's pissed off. Distant, so far away. We've got a surprise in the water. The sun might be dealing with something that has been rebirthed and it's pissed off. I don't know. So they might be keeping it away. There's a surprise in the water. We've got ice. So it could be something that has melted and has come up out of the water. It's pissed off. It could be at a distance. It thawed out. It reanimated. It's going to present itself. It's big. And they don't know what it is. We've got origin. Could be a family tree. This could be somebody from long ago in history that these pet cemetery people thought that they had caused an extinction for. Whatever this is family. And it's pissed. Ten of Swords. They called up a gremlin or something and said, let me in. Somebody lost their lover. Utter breakdown, rock bottom. Whoever this female is, she got eaten up by this mongrel, this monster that she called forward. Stubborn. They were stubborn. They were stubborn. They didn't want to hear it. They were trying to reach their goals. They lost their lover. 10 of Wands. Overwhelmed by all of the rituals that they did in the past. All of the Burning Man rituals, all of the mask wearing rituals, all of the Druid, Stonehenge kind of crap. It's fertility. It all added up. And that's bringing them an ending in their mind. Their mind is going to freaking crack. Their mind is going to crack. They're in a freaking nightmare. They're in their head. They're in a nightmare. 5 of Swords, defeat. They fell into their own trap. They were told not to go into that house. Do not mess with those ones. They broke their promises. They made a contract. They broke that promise, and they're guilty of lying and cheating. They're in despair. They're in despair over eternal love. You're getting eternal love. They tried to take you out. They wanted to contract with you and then break that promise. They wanted to trap you. They wanted you in the grave. They wanted you to be in the pet cemetery or to be dwelling with these other people. They wanted to swap places with you. They were trying to bring forth the dead and put the living in the under. Like, you know, we're divine earth angelic beings, delicate, sensitive, transmitter receivers, organic messengers of the divine. We're meant to receive the messages of the heavens and then manifest it in this world. But you've got those who were from the under who were wanting it to be as above, so below. But what they really meant was they wanted as below to be as above. So they were flipping it, and they were trying to pull up all of these pet cemeteries, all of these gremlins from the past, give them their clone bodies or let them walk into somebody else's body, and so that they could take over this middle ground and put the angelics in the underworld. And the thing about it is Osiris was measuring and weighing hearts. And, you know, I mean, not all of the earth angelics were forced to stay there. So many of you were released and reborn. You know, you got your 3 days and then your resurrection, right? And now these people are upset. They failed to put you in the cemetery. They're in grief because everybody that they have called forth is now hungry. And they are going to fall away to make room for the love that you deserve. They're leaving, and they've got a widower here. We've got lover in the verse. They've lost their lover. It's in the reverse. We've got the boogeyman who let me in. Somebody has hit rock bottom. They're in the bottom, bound to those commitments, those contracts that they did with this nasty rituals, all these natural nasty rituals. They could be blind. Maybe they are blinded now. Maybe they didn't see that they were going to lose their freedom. Justice is being served on behalf of you, and look, your alliances are stopping these mask wearers. Believe it. All those mental disturbances that they sent out to you, they wanted to disturb you. Your beautiful white, bright white fire halo, man. You are like top. You're a high vibrational, upper dimensional being here to bring forth all of this light and all of these beautiful ideas and connections that you have with those upper dimensional realms. And you've got this powerful golden light that you were supposed to be using to manifest this beautiful stuff with. And instead, these third world enemies did magic, and they called forth the pet cemetery, you know, dead people to come in and cause you a disturbance. They wanted to destroy your mind. They wanted to make you be seen as you were crazy. They wanted to destroy your mind. There's no freaking forgiveness here. They were trying to rob you of your high value. They wanted you to be seen as mentally disturbed, as incapable of managing yourself. They did everything they could to destroy your mind and your life and your future, your reputation. They're protesting. They're protesting their own inadequacy. Your calm, your inner calm, your ability to remain in temperance energy has allowed you to persevere through this extreme challenge that they were trying to put this loneliness and sickness into your mental body. They wanted you separated out from everything you ever knew. They took a bribe to sacrifice you and then dominate you. And it could be that those who did take a bribe to do that to you are having it done to them now. Because you love yourself. This is the conclusion of this brutality, and you will get the fruits of your labor. You know, you remained love. So these prideful people are overloaded, overwhelmed. They're losing everything. The pets, the pet cemetery. So they're pets. So they've got these gorgeous women, you know, in a synthetic body, and it's perfect. The body is perfect. And, you know, they were overindulging in this conflict with you, and now they want to apologize, and it's stupid because you have triumphed over any sense of worry that they were trying to give to you, and you lived and learned all about it. Now these ones, they have a promise of some kind of danger. It could be that they are assured danger because there is a This is worship. There's a vow to the gift that they will have a nice life, a relaxed life, filled with love. You're going to have adventure. This blessing has reached the top of that mountain, and they will have an adventure. They will have nice stuff going on for them. And these others, they need your help now. They're being cast away. But you care about family. They can't be here. You're getting your reward. You care about family. And those people who were snacking on family, who are trying to put them in the cemetery, who were trying to drain them of their life force and destroy their reputations and make them be seen as something they are not. They're not good moral people. They're very, very terrible people. And one of these women has lost. This lover has been flipped into south mode. They're the recipient of their own goal for you. Their intentions for you is their gift. That's exactly what's happening to them. They called it forth with the intention that you should be attacked by this entity, and this entity has turned on them. They've lost control here. You've got a 10 of Cups, beautiful reunion. This foundation, you've got animals. So there's people wondering about the rules. Do they have to be followed? You're emotionally exhausted. You deserve a break. There's a lot of conversation going on about those people who didn't earn any merit. There might be some gossip going on. You're tired, man. You deserve a break from those people who just wanted to strip you of your value. They have no value. They wanted yours. Privilege. Everybody's talking about how these people who had not earned any merit were sitting here in a status of privilege. Everybody's talking about it. They don't have any merit, man. You're tired. You're emotionally exhausted of dealing with these people. They don't have any merit. They didn't earn it. They're callous. They're full of malice. They're calling forth the dead to go attack the living. They worship this. And now it's gonna take them out. They're gonna go live with those beings that they worship. That was their choice. King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. There's no reason to sigh. These magical rituals, these ceremonies, this is on a schedule for the starseed. There is a schedule. There's a rite of passage. There's a rite of passage. There's a ceremonies on the schedule for the starseed. This King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlin. We've got a dictator, a King of Swords reversed. Somebody wanted to control others. This is a trickster, and they're going under. They're drowning. They've been rejected. They're not going on a journey. They're not able to travel. Whoever this was, they wanted to ride in on the horse or the pony like Christ did. You know, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like to me they tried to ride in on some horse or some pony, and they got rejected. This dictator. They're going under. People see them for what they are. Oracle. They're being rejected by the Oracle. Maybe they rejected the Oracle. They're going under because they rejected the Oracle. They're not able to go on that horse. Maybe the Oracle is, Starseed is telling the story. They're going through withdrawals. Their Oracle quit. Nobody wants to work with them. They didn't go anywhere. The Empress is here. She's released her monster, her inner beast, or her beast, the beast from her closet. We've got Cujo. I told you I had that vision of the gray pit bull, big, beautiful animal that had big, beautiful wings, almost as big as its whole body. And so Cujo has been released. This Empress is protected. You got to face it. The truth has set her free. She's very constant within this stressful situation, and people are stressed out. They're told to stay in their own lane. She's very consistent. The truth has set her free. People are stressed out. They're told to stay in their own lane. We've got her guardian canine here about ready to rip their face off and make them sick. Whatever this canine's got going on, if it bites them, they're toast. They are absolute toast. It's going to be a terrible death for them. And because Cujo's got rabies, it's not going to end well. And yeah, so they've been casting a lot of illusions, but nature will take its course regardless of what they want. It's just going to be the way that it is. They're reaching out, trying to connect because they want this money. We've got a troll daydreaming. They're trying to cast some kind of an illusion with this Seven of Cups. We've got a rebirth of something, and it is pissed. It could be at a distance. It could be far away. Perhaps somebody is a mythological creature of generations, centuries past into the historical tree of your family. Perhaps somebody that these ones thought was a myth. They thought that they'd exterminated it, but God has resurrected so many people, because these entities were trying to get all of these dead entities up from the grave into this realm, into these synthetic bodies, and put all of the others into the hellhole. Well, God said, you know what? No, we're not going to do that. And he's raising them all up. This, whoever this is, whatever this is, has been rebirthed with the sun energy here out of the ice. They're pissed. They're keeping people away from you. There's something in the water that is surprised about your vitality, your vital force. We've got podcasts. There could be an announcement coming regarding a new family tree or a family tree. Ten of Swords is here. Somebody has hit rock bottom. They're having to deal with this boogeyman that they called up. And they lost a lover. A lover is in the reverse. So it could be that they've lost. They no longer have a lover. It could be that something was going on in their mind, and we've reached their goals. Their goal was to, they're going to their destination. They're fulfilling their own purpose. They were trying to mess with people's mind and get them into this grave, and their intentions shall be their gift, according to the divine, according to the Most High. And so it looks to me like they got carried away. They got carried away. They got carried away. Shadow demon in the reverse. Shadow demon in the reverse. Let's see. Shadow doesn't need to be in the reverse. Do I read these cards in the reverse? Let's see. It could be that the shadow demon is going away, being rejected. They've been feeding the shadow demon. They're not able to. Deal with your demons before they deal with you. They did not deal with their demons. They were stubborn. They were pushing forward with a goal, and now they've lost. They did not deal with their demons, and now their demons are here dealing with them. They did not deal with their demons, and now their demons are here dealing with them. Their intentions shall be their gift. They're in a 10 of Wands burden from all of these rituals that they've done in the past. These Burning Man rituals, Stonehenge rituals, Druid. You got the fish mask, the goat mask, the rabbit mask. You've got this little dot on the third eye. This is historical, many rituals over and over and over again. They're in a 10 of Wands, overwhelmed by it all. It's ending. It's bringing an ending to this. It's all coming back on them, and it's going to hit them like a ton of freaking bricks, because this isn't going to go on over many centuries. This is all coming out now, and it's going to hit them, and they're going to go deep into the shadow. It's ending. In their mental body, they're having a nightmare. They're suffering a lot. They're in a trauma bond. They could be getting trauma bonded. Their mental body is being torn apart, maybe like yours was. We've got 5 of Swords, defeat. They fell into a trap. They were warned not to go into your house. Your house is your temple. They were warned not to go in and mess around with your intellectual property. They were warned not to eat of God's family tree. The apples of his eyes, his family. The children of light. And these ones did. And then they tainted the food supply so that everybody would be seen as though they had done that. But humanity has received a pass because they were set up. They were set up. They were trying to trap you. So now they're in a defeat with this conflict. They were told not to go in that house. They got a gun right in their face, and they got a whole lot of people pointing at them, drinking wine. Oh yeah, they're entertained by this. They're like, dude, we told you not to go into that damn house, but now look, we're entertained. They broke their promises. They broke every single promise. They were told not to go in that house. They made a promise, and then they broke that promise. They tried to break your heart and your spirit. They're guilty of it. They're in despair because you're getting eternal love. This is a black square who is trying to do the very least to gain the very most, and they're in despair because that love is yours. You are eternal love. It's not that you have to write a book on love and prove to people that you know a lot about love. It's just in the way you live your life, whether you are alone or whether you have many in it. It's the mindset. Are you kind? Are you gentle? Is there a heaven in you? Do you bring peace wherever you go? Or are you doing this kind of crap, calling forth entities to attack peaceful people? Everybody has a choice. Everybody made their choice. It's too late to change your choice. It is what it is. Eight of Cups here. They failed in their attempt to call forth this pet cemetery animals, the dead. You got children out there with knives. They've got this crazy look in their face because the entity inside that flesh suit is somebody that came up from the cemetery. They're whacked and they're leaving. They're taking you with them. Things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love you deserve. These guys are in grief because these entities that they called forward from the pet cemetery and from the cemetery in general, we've got leaving. They're going to be leaving. There's a widower here bound to the contract that they did. They're bound to that contract with death. And they're in grief. You're getting eternal love. They wanted you bound to that contract. They were trying to put you in the grave, but now they're going there. They did not deal with their demons, and now their demons are dealing with them. Self-care. Snack. They were trying to take care of their own selves by feeding on others. It could be that now they're going to have to learn how to take care of themselves while they are being fed upon, just like you did. They're the new fodder. These entities, these pet cemetery entities, they were going to be draining them of their life force vitality, and they're going to have to learn how to take care of themselves if they want to continue living. And the empath is telling them to go F themselves because, you know, I think many empaths who are connected and know exactly what's going on here and say, you know what? We're tired of being fed on by you guys. So it could be that there's an influencer. This cult leader was an influencer. They've been leading people down a path of incoherency, negative influencing. This cult leader, this legend might be dealing with this cult leader. You may be a legendary influencer that this cult leader was trying to attack or snack on to consume so that they could appear as though they were you. A narcissist, fashion witch, jealous. They might be triggered by tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. There's a rumors going around. There's talk going around. They have to give the land back. They're freaking out. They're triggered. They're losing everything. They ignored the warnings. These are simps doing the most for somebody who cares the least. They're feral. They have no morals or ethics. They have no boundaries. They ignored the freaking warnings. And they were love bombing and gaslighting people for billionaire status. They were feeding on people and then trying to present themselves as that. They think this unicorn is a bitch. Or maybe there's just a bitch dealing with the unicorn. Look, the unicorn tells you to go F off. You're a trauma-bonded simp, man. You're a trauma-bonded simp who is bringing horror to the world because you have not done your shadow work and there's no love in you. Somebody stripped you of your love, and so you decided that it's your job to strip love out of everybody else. How wonderful. What a goal. Super sweet for the children of the future, don't you think? This is a blonde woman. This is a blonde woman. She's got children. She called forward the boogeyman. The boogeyman said, let me in. The boogeyman is in their house. effing up their world. And it looks to me like somebody has passed away. They did not deal with their shadow demon, and now their shadow demon is dealing with them. They obviously are in a state of fright. They're in a nightmare. It's time for them to go trauma bond. They're going to get their mind tore apart. They're going to get fed on like everybody else has been feeding on them, others, like they've been feeding on others. They're the new fodder. That's what God said. They're the new fodder. These people who neglected you and fed on your energy and then stuck you in a hellhole and took your ticket into an advancement because you graduated your initiation. Yeah, these little low-life entities here, they've been taking your ticket and moving on up when they are so freaking full of malice. They smile in people's face. They speak all the right words. They look perfect. Their bodies are perfect. They wear high-value clothing. And they wander around like their SHIT doesn't stink. But they neglect everybody and everything because they don't have any of the qualities of a creator inside of them. They have every quality of a destroyer. They're from the freaking grave. They could actually be from the pet cemetery itself. These could be animal people that they called forth from the pet cemetery. You know, they've been doing their genetic experiments, mating dogs with humans and doing all of that stuff, trying to get their little hybrids. I've seen it in the dream space. So these animals, you're tired of dealing with these animals. You know, they've got a status of privilege. They're not good moral humans. They haven't earned any merit. They did not deserve it because they neglected every freaking buddy and every freaking thing. They took that money and they didn't help anybody, any living thing. They did not help any living thing or person. What they did was pour it into the cemetery. King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. You have no reason to sigh. There is a ceremony here for this starseed and a schedule. There's something's being organized. There's a plan being made for a ceremony for the starseed whose values were not about money. Dictator, brutal, control freak, King of Swords in the reverse. This is a trickster spirit who's drowning. They're going under. They weren't able to make the journey. They were not recognized as a Christed being coming in on their pony. They were rejected. We got the oracle here. That is so freaking interesting. They were rejected. It's like they tried to come in on their high horse, and they were rejected. This illusionist, this trickster, was trying to present themselves as a Christed being. They were trying to come in and say, hey, I'm your savior. I'm here to guide you correctly, but this is a trickster. And they're drowning. They're going under. It could be they're going under because of this oracle, this prophet or prophetess is telling the truth. It could be that they're going to be absent. So they're feeling like a part of them is missing without the oracle. They don't have access to this oracle starseed's intellectual property anymore. This trickster has been harvesting the mental body of people who receive divine messaging, and then they've been claiming it as their own while driving soap operas of self-loathing through their mind, right? This oracle, they have absence. They're feeling the absence of the oracle. They cannot get oracle information. It could very well be that these dead that they have been enslaving, pretty much. They're like, we'll give you a synthetic body, but you have to do the dance. You know, you got to come in and flash and clash. You got to do the dance. You got to participate in these sexual, magic tricks and all of that. And the dead people said, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I can do that. And they came on forward. And now everything's going south. And these entities are like, we're going to, F you up. The Empress has released the beast from her closet. She is under protection, and it's going to make you sick if you go near her. They got to face it. The truth has set her free. She's very constant. Those people who have consistently caused her stress in the mental body are told to stay in their own lane. Stay in your own damn lane. There's an understanding of what it is that they've been doing, and they're stressed out. They're told to stay in their own lane. They've been causing a Seven of Cups illusions for people. And nature, the nature card is here, and it's in the reverse. And let me just read for you again what that says. They're coming, but it's in the reverse. So we've got the Seven of Cups illusion, fantasy. Somebody is causing some kind of a delusion, but nature is in the reverse. They're not coming. They are not coming. They're reaching out, trying to connect to you because they want to get your money. This is a troll having a fantasy and illusion. We've got daydream illusion, Seven of Cups, fantasy illusion. This troll is under a freaking illusion. They're not going anywhere. Nature is going to take its course regardless of the illusions that they have cast. A departure is coming for them or for you. You're leaving. They're reaching out, but you're not connecting to them. This is just a daydream. They want your money, Empress. They want your money. Unfinished business. They keep trying to attach themselves to you. We've got the Sun. There is a celebration. Something has been rebirthed or revitalized, and it's pissed off. It's keeping things at a distance, or it's keeping things far away from you, or it could be at a distance. We've got a surprise for something in the water. Something in the water is a surprise. Something's being raised up out of the water. Something in the water is surprised regarding your family tree, your origin. They could be surprised regarding your origin. You may have links to the water. You may have links to, long time ago, I had a dream that I was a mermaid. Like I kept having this dream that I had a house under the water. There were no walls or nothing, but there were definitely significant boundaries that this was my house. And so apparently I might have been a mermaid in the past. These old jackholes drew me up and probably ate me back then too. We got a bunch of freaking cannibals here. We're all cannibals. Problem is that children typically don't want to eat meat. They're trained into it. They're forced into it. And then it becomes a habitual pattern. So we've got a surprise in the water. It's coming up. It's being pulled up out of the water. We've got origin. This could have something to do with your family tree or your vitality. You may be connected to something in the water from long ago in history. It could have been in the ice, and now it's been warmed up by the sun, and it's come into this new birth, and it's pissed off. It's mad. It could have been from the distant past. These entities, these dead entities, thought that they had exterminated and put it in the under realm forever. That it was nothing more than a myth. But now this myth is here to bite them in the damn face. It's like, hello, what the hell? You are here messing with my family tree. It's being announced. There's a podcast. There's something being announced about a mending of a connection. There is a mending of the connection. This sun has connections to something that is in the ice. This connection has been fixed. Whatever this is, it's pissed. It's mad. Whatever it is. Nobody knows what it is. It's from centuries ago. These guys thought that they had exterminated it. Oh, man. The connection has been fixed. This is something to do with your family tree of the history. We've got a third party here. There's a third party who wants to fix this connection. They're a third party enemy. They want to mend the connection. They might be announcing it. 10 of Swords. This female who called forward the boogeyman from this book, whatever this book is, they have lost. There's a deeper connection. They did not deal with their demons. Their demons are dealing with them. We've got lover in the reverse. They might have lost a lover. They called forward something from this book, and they've lost a lover. They're very stubborn. They're very arrogant regarding goals. They didn't want to hear it. They were just going for it, and they didn't think. They were like, they could have been on some kind of a frequency. Yeah, stubborn. They sabotaged themselves. Going after their goals, going after your goals, they sabotaged themselves, and now they're in a freaking nightmare. They're getting trauma bonded to this entity. Whatever this entity is that they called forward to try to attack you, yeah, it's attacking them, and it's going to mess their mind up. 10 of Wands burden. They're overwhelmed by the fertility, by how many times they've done this over the centuries. It's all coming back as a one lump sum. Bam, you're going to get it. So it's like, you know, this isn't going to be, oh, you know, I've lived 5 lives and I have, you know, this person in grief, dealing with the pet cemetery, calling forth all these boogeymen and stuff, you know, they causing people nightmares, this religious witchery, this schizophrenia kind of crap. Yeah. I want to pray to tear their mind apart. Oh, let me have their dreams, please. I just don't like it. They're not stealing your destiny. They're not stealing your destiny. This trauma-bonded person is not able to steal your destiny. All of those rituals that they have done in the history is coming back to them, and it will bring an ending. They're in a nightmare in their room, in their mental body. They're suffering. They're in darkness. They're being persecuted. They're being trauma bonded too with these lower vibrational entities. They're not able to steal your destiny. 5 of Swords, defeat. They were abusive. Now they're getting abused. They were told not to enter that house. They were told not to enter your house, your temple. Now, it's like all the heavens and all the hell is coming after them. This black square who is trying to do the very least to gain the very most, they were making relationships or getting contracts with people, making promises, and they're guilty of breaking every single one of those promises, trying to destroy the heart and the spirit of the ones that they made a promise to. They're in despair because you're getting eternal love. You are eternal love. You are reunited with eternal love. You're getting eternal love, and they're so mad. They fell into a trap. They were told not to enter your house, your temple. This is your house for your spirit and your soul complex. So they're in an 8 of Cups, disappointment. They failed with and they're in grief. They got all these pet cemetery folks coming after them. Look, there's children here. There's children. They're so furious. They got their knife and they're like demonic. They're going to come and they're going to slice these people up. They fell into their own damn trap. So everything you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love you deserve. These people are leaving. They will be leaving. Somebody is already a widower. And they're bound to the contracts that they committed to, trying to get you. They wanted to snack on you. So they're bound to those contracts. Now they have to go deal with themselves. They got to try to manage themselves. They got to take care of themselves while they are getting snacked upon, just like you did. Right. They got to learn what hope is. They were trying to snack on you. You take care of yourself. You have hope for a union. They wanted to get a commitment with you. Those who have been committed, snacking on those people who take care of themselves and hope for a beautiful union, but instead they've been sacrificing them and snacking on their energy. They're in grief. They're the new fodder. Because you took care of yourself and you never gave up hope for this beautiful union. These people are bound to their own commitments. They made mistakes. They're feeling broken and shattered about it. Chasing after you. They're unsatisfied with commitment. Responsible commitment. They didn't want it. They did not want it. They didn't want responsible commitment. They didn't want the responsibility of raising a good, moral, ethical, powerful human. They found it easier just to tear everybody down and put them in a freaking grave. People are gossiping. These prideful reflections don't know what to do, because everything that they did to you is now coming back on them. They're running away. They're running away. They ran away from an irreplaceable love. They lied with this passion project, and now they're overwhelmed. with all the soul ties in the shadows. Like these people, they made soul ties, and then they put these people and the beautiful people into the shadows. And now all of those shadows, they're coming back. They're going to freaking F them up, man. They're going to get F'd up. They did not pay attention to their shadow demons. They got all these third-party jackwagons, and they got with all these people, and then they sacrificed them. They bound them to them so that they would be their servant in this other place. I had a woman do that to me once. I didn't know what she was doing. She told me she needed my jewelry, and then she took it to church and she blessed it. But then in the dream space, she had me go to a leader's house and knocked the freaking door down. They knock on the door, they open the door. They tried to shut the door when they saw me, this person was standing behind me. And so I kicked the door open. It's like they sent rapists after me. And so this person who was apparently my guide, my handler or whatever, took me to this place. And then, you know, we had an encounter. And that's when I discovered that this person, she said, you're going to be right here by my... And then I went to her, in the dream space, I went to her house. She had like a 2-story house. There was a few people in it. Like she had trapped some people with her magic there. And she had intended on doing the same thing to me. She had bound my jewelry and stuff. I had to get rid of it all. I took it to the... I had to get rid of it all. It's just interesting how sneaky people are, you know. They do these kinds of things with others, and they never tell them what their true intention is or what they're actually doing with their spirit soul, how they're binding themselves to them, trauma bonding with them, so that if anything happens and you cross over, that you'll be their forever servant. Oh, we're going to be friends forever. No. 10 of Cups, union. There's animals that you're tired of. You're tired of dealing with these animals that have not been following the rules. You deserve a break. These privileged beings or whatever, they neglected you. They have not earned their merit. They're not a good moral human. There's a lot of conversation happening about these people who took the wealth from others through this sacrificial thing, but you were able to self-preserve. So you preserved yourself through this neglect. These privileged people neglected you and then stole your status of privilege that you had earned. These people don't actually have any merit. These are third-party, red-rumming horrors, brutalizers, worshipping death, calling forth demons to hurt people that are love. They run around in their fancy clothes and they brag about how they're your only hope. Absent. King of Cups is dealing with the midnight harvesters that were tempted by the snake. There's nothing to worry about. There is a plan for a ceremony regarding the starseed whose values were not about money. There's absence. There could be this masculine here. Maybe you've been dealing with absent fathers, absent mothers. Maybe you had a parent that was absent, but you still came out with, your values are in alignment with eternal love. You're a star seed. It's who you are. No matter how much evil they try to stuff into you, the core of you, your spirit soul complex, is what it is. You're a freaking unicorn star. And you take care of yourself in this trauma. And these ones thought that they were going to get you to be eaten up by this shadow demon. They thought they had traumatized and hurt you so freaking thoroughly that you would never, ever, ever escape the nightmare. You've got a dictator, oppressor. This is a brutalizer. King of Swords in the reverse. This is a trickster. It could be a shapeshifter. They are drowning. They're going under. It did not work out the way they thought. They're not taking their journey. They were rejected. They're going through withdrawals. People don't see them as a savior. People don't see them as a Christed being. They're feeling the absence of this oracle. They can't tap the intellectual property of the oracle, so they can't cast the illusion. They're not perfect. They tried to skip corners. They tried to tap into the mental body of the oracle and have themselves seen as. And now they're feeling the absence of this oracle. They can't pull it off. They can't pull it off. People are rejecting them. They know that they're not a Christed being. They know that they're not holy. This is a King of Swords in the reverse trickster, trying to pass themselves off as a freaking holy one. But they've been separated from the oracle who actually is, and so they're not able to pull it off. They're not seen as perfect. They tried to take shortcuts, and everybody can see that clearly. Especially when they got disconnected from the oracles, when they're no longer able to tap into the intellectual property of your prophets and your prophetesses, your true psychics. They're not getting the upper dimensional messaging anymore. They've been cut off. So they can't pull it off. They can't cast the illusion because they're not able to tap into the true reality of the actual oracle. The Empress is here, releasing the beast from her closet. Face it, the truth has set her free. We've got constant stress. Those who have been constantly stressing her out in her mental body are told to stay in their own lane because there's an understanding of what they have been doing. We've got objectivity. Now let me tell you, objectivity here is a beautiful thing that I can't ever remember because I got this thing. I've got so much stuff going on in my head. I got to make room all the time for new information. Balanced, stable, and rational. Your balance, your stability, and your rationality. You are calm, you are cool, and you are collected. You're not insane. You haven't lost your mind. You're not wanting vengeance. You're not filled with malice. It's obvious that you take care of yourself and you still hope for devoted union, eternal love. You're getting it. It was prophesied. There's an understanding of what they've done here. Your ability to maintain your balance, and it could be through this illness that they were trying to cause for you, this stress out. They were doing it constantly, man. Constantly. Centuries. Centuries. They've been doing this for centuries. Stressing you out, causing you illness. And now Cujo's out of the closet. Cujo's like, no more. You better stay in your own lane because you're gonna get bit. You're gonna get bit. Cujo is the bomb. Cujo is the bomb that's going to destroy your world if you try to go for that Empress. Cujo is going to bite your face right off. Going to scare the living daylights out of you. Put you right in that shadow. Put you right in that shadow. Face it. The truth has set this Empress free. She was not actually sick. She was not actually rabid. It was these ones. These mask-wearing demons doing their rituals at Stonehenge, at Burning Man. Casting their Seven of Cups illusions. Nature is going to run its course whether they want to cast illusions or not. Regardless of the magic they do, this troll does, nature will run its course. They cannot affect Mother Nature. There's unfinished business here. They're reaching out, trying to connect to you. They need to get it, attach themselves to your money. They can't stop thinking about it. You're here in service. So there's unfinished business. You are here in service. You're a service being. These ones were trying to get you seen as something other than what you are, Empress. You're here to help the people. And you've got these dead entities. Look, they've been doing throughout centuries. You've got the Druids doing magic at Stonehenge, these sacrifices. You've got people wearing the fish mask, the goat mask, the freaking rabbit mask, the third eye freaking dot there. You've got Burning Man. They've been doing it for centuries. And now it's ending. It's ending because all of that stuff that they've been doing throughout the centuries is hitting them now. It's not going to take its time. It's going to come in and it's going to knock them flat on their ass, and it's going to drag them kicking and screaming to the shadow realm that they adore so much. There's a rebirth of somebody who nobody knows what it is. It's like this is a surprise from your genealogy, from your historical past. This could be from a past life, like centuries ago. You may have been one of those giants. They did some nuclear particle, freaking, what do they call that? Particle event, a nuclear fission. They love to turn people to stone. They've been doing it for a long time. They have this stupid technology, and they settled for war when they could have had love. They settled for death when they could have had life. Choices, man. And they want to get mad at you because you made a different choice, because you followed your heart and you had never gave up hope for eternal love, and you took care of yourself with the intention that someday you were going to be ready for it. You were going to be fit for it. You're going to be prepared, man, because that's what you want. You never gave up hope for it. And you got it coming. Somebody's in despair. These third-party enemies are in despair. These triangular situations that they tried to get you wrapped up in. There's a teacher here, a third-party enemy teacher who wants to mend this connection. There's something coming up out of the water. Part of your family tree. There's something coming up. It's got to do with your vitality, your vital force. There's an announcement that's going to mean somebody's pissed. Somebody is pissed off. So there's a 10 of swords here, rock bottom. They called forth a boogeyman from their book, and the boogeyman said, let me in, and they have lost. They did not pay attention to their shadow, and now their shadow is dealing with them. They have lost a lover. Their lover could have been flipped into South Node. They sabotaged themselves by being stubborn and not paying attention to what was important with their goals. And now we've got leadership. They were going after a leadership goal, and they sabotaged themselves. And now the shadow team got a hold of them. They weren't paying attention. They're in a 10 of wands burden. They're overwhelmed by all of the rituals that they have been doing throughout the centuries. This is bringing them an ending. They're pretending it's not ending. Oh yeah, but it's ending. We're going on a fresh start. In their room, in their mental body, they are in a nightmare. They could be getting trauma bonded. Like they may be having their hemispheres, they got hemi-sync. Now I know for me, like it was like they separated it here, and then they had like two groups of people that sounded the same, and then they would attack this side of the brain and then attack this side of the brain, and it was like I had this war, it's like it would hit, and they were like tearing it apart, man. They were making little psychic surgery cuts, and they were dragging sandpaper through it, and one time they actually poured acid onto my brain, and it affected the whole nervous system. It was like cringe, kind of like that. Yeah, well, this is ending. Their trauma bonding with people is ending. They're going through it right now. It could be that they're getting trauma bonded. They have lost the destiny of those that they have trauma bonded with. They're afraid. They have lost the destiny of those people that they trauma bonded with. And now this third party wants to fix this connection, this teacher. They've been utterly defeated, and your 5 of swords. They wanted to bring you conflict. They were told, they were warned not to go into that house, not to go into your house, your temple. Do not go into this temple. And they did. They made a contract with you, and they broke their promises. They are guilty of lying and cheating on you. This is a black square, doing the very least to gain the very most, and they're in despair because you are coming into eternal love. You are experiencing a reunion. You have been accepted and elevated and resurrected by God, and these ones are in despair because they have to give you up. Haunted. They're haunted. All the haunting that they put on you is on them now. They're going to lose their freaking mind. And you know what? May they survive. May they actually learn how to take care of themselves through 22 years of mental rape. Let them survive. Let them go get a job. Let them pay their bills. Let them feed their families. Let them be on time for work. Let them pay their rent, their mortgage. Let them behave like a regular citizen that isn't being mentally raped. Let them go do what you have done. Let them graduate and then actually earn the reward that they were trying to steal from you. I think that's what God's giving them. He's giving them an opportunity. You have an opportunity to go be fed on by this shadow demon and then learn how to take care of yourself and then learn how to come into hope for somebody who can stand by your side firmly and just be power without having to F up anybody else's world. Eight of Cups, failed attempts. They're in grief. This pet cemetery bullshit artistry is in grief. You got a child with a freaking knife in his hand, and he's so mad. I mean, they're insane. They're dead. These are like demons. They called them forth, and now they're ready to go have a freaking meal. These people are mad. Everything that you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love you deserve. They are in ruins, and you're leaving. They're leaving. There's a widower here. They're committed to the contract that they made for snacks. They are the new fodder. They have to honor that contract. You never gave up hope for a devoted union. You took care of yourself. They wanted to feed you, but because you are of a higher vibrational sort, they couldn't trap you in this space and place. They were told not to go into your house, and they did anyway. They did a lot of nasty things, and it's all coming back on them. Centuries of nastiness is going to hit them like a ton of bricks. They're going to go down, down, down. They were entertained. They were entertained by hurting you. It was so much fun for them. But there's a congratulations because we have an appearance. Your self-care. You're able to take care of yourself. You survived. You survived. You survived. And there was a witch here that was attempting to portray themselves as you. Working to fight with others regarding Evermore. They did not want you to have this. Okay? They were communicating fight, 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 fight. They wanted you to be seen as though you were a fight, 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 fight. They were portraying themselves as you, and they were working real hard to have you seen as though you were combative, violent, malice, vengeful, hateful, addicted, prostitute. They did everything they could without actually coming into your 3D experience and messing you up. They did it through astral projection. You were happy, your happiness, you're ready for this evermore, this eternal love, and you're going to get it. It's here and now, and it's defending you because it sees you. It sees that limited perception. These very minimalistic people martyred you, made you invisible when you were a limelight person. They were trying to dominate you, and as you, they were trying to portray to the world that you were a terrorist. They made you invisible. They martyred you and made you invisible and then portrayed themselves as you. And they were being very, very mean to people, trying to get you framed as a terrorist because they wanted your pathway. They wanted the pathway of this wholesome woman, this wise guy. King of Swords in the reverse, Tyrant. Wanted your pathway, Empress. They didn't do anything to earn anything. This is your home. This is your home. You're the shining, peaceful one. This planet is your home. This is the second sun, or it will be. And it's time for those privileged people who are bringing drama to the world to go deal with their own hardship, to undergo the same hardship that they were watching you go through. If they want to be seen as an arcana, let them go become one by undergoing the same trials and challenges you went through. These are ancestors that were exploring ways to be seen as important. They were pretending. These are men that were fighting with divine feminine to steal her status of importance. Love, the promise of love. They were driving the promise of love. They didn't want you to have it. They wanted to destroy your reputation by all this conflict, by all this addiction. These guys are getting disconnected. They're out of here, man, because they're so vile. Justice is being served from the spiritual throne. We've got a magistrate out there who has planetary dominion, and these jackholes are going away. And all of these dead that they have been calling forth are going to be grabbing them up and taking them out of here. They did not deal with their demons, and now their demons are dealing with them. Now, you got the church out there saying the demons have been released. And it's like, you guys did it yourselves, man. You did it yourself. This is God's wrath. He's letting everybody that called forth the pet cemetery demons, gave them a synthetic body and said, go dance and sing and, you know, let me abuse you. These masculines, gang RAP. Take it all in. So, mend the connection. It could be that there's an announcement. You have mended your connection. And we've got this teacher who has been teaching people this third-party hoe business. Somebody is furious. They are pissed. There's a rebirth here, and they're pissed. These folks are going at a distance. They're going to go far, far a freaking way. You're tired of dealing with these animals in your territory, in the territory of love and family. You're tired of dealing with these animals, these pet cemetery animals. They were told not to go into this house. It could be your house of flesh. It could be the planet. The planet. These people were trying to terraform and then CRISPR and change the genetics and the life that was able to live here. Very, very bad people. Fertility. They have birthed themselves one heck of a burden, and it's all their fault. Caching, pulling up people's seeds. You were able to self-preserve. These people were pulling up your seeds. Everything that you tried to birth here, they were pulling it up. They did not want you to see or to be seen as worthy. But you preserved yourself. You were able to survive. The King of Cups is here, dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. There's no reason to sigh. There is a plan for a ceremony here regarding the star seed, whose values are not about money. You could have had an absent father or mother. You could have survived a whole bunch of negative influences. Maybe you didn't have anybody to teach you. You might not have had anybody to teach you, to protect you from those who were bringing negative influence into your life. These ones really wanted you to fail, but you didn't fall for it. Your values are very much in line with what is right. You're a starseed. You have a different value system than these entities who do not believe in a higher power or the unlimited, limitless numbers of opportunities throughout the limitless numbers of universes. It's like these ones wanted to be here. They wanted to claim this territory, and unfortunately for them, it does not belong to them. They're still very mad. They want to go red rumming people now. They want to go have some kind of world war to take out as many star seeds as possible. Otherwise, they have to get out. They have to get off the planet, and they're furious about it. They don't want to lose their home here. They don't want to lose access to the abundance that is being supplied by you star seeds. So we've got a King of Swords in the reverse. This is a trickster spirit, a control freak dominator, tyrant. They're brutal. This is a clown. This is a clown. It could be presenting itself as a child, or it could be being brutal to children, tricking them, messing with their minds, getting them to see that, hey, I'm your man. And guess what? It's not. This dude was tricking them to be a foul little evil clown. And now they're going under. They're drowning here because nobody sees them as the Christed being. This fellow trying to ride in on his horse is not going on a journey. They're being rejected. They're rejected. It's like, are you kidding me? They're not seen as perfect. because there's an absence of the oracle. They don't have the ability to receive divine information. They've lost their connection to the oracle. They're not able to pull forth information. They've lost their connection to the intellectual property that they were using to cast the illusion that they were special, that they were connected to God. Luck. You could be very lucky, oracle. They no longer can tap you. We've got the Empress here. There's an illness. There's an illness. Cujo is out. Somebody let the beast out of her closet. She is highly protected by the animals and others. Face it, the truth has set her free. They were constantly stressing her out in the mental body, and now they're told to stay in their own lane because there is an understanding of what they were doing. This Empress remains stable and rational and balanced through all of this. It was prophesied that her gifts would pull her through and then manifest in this world for the benefit of people here. She is an Empress, as a being of service. She's here to assist people, and Mother Nature will run her course regardless of the illusions and the fantasies that this troll, third-party enemy, is trying to manifest for money. There's unfinished business here. There's not going to be any more trickery. It's going to be authentic and transparent. This Empress service person is authentic. She's not a trickster. You've got a King of Swords reversed here who's a trickster, but this Empress is not a trickster. She has recovered from an illness. She is the mother, and her beast is out of the closet. It's like, yeah, these people are gonna get, you know, if they try to go for Cujo, if they try to go for Mama, all the animal protectors are gonna come after them. So we've got the sun here. There is a rebirth. There's a celebration. Something has, we've got the ice. We've got fire and ice. But with ice, you've got it's weird and pissed off. Whatever it is. Whatever this is, it's from centuries ago. They thought that they had it buried in the ice. The sun is out. The sun melted that ice, and now there's a rebirth of whatever this is, and it's pissed. So, we've got resisting negative forces. Whatever it is, whatever they had buried in that ice at a distance is pissed. It's coming up out of the water, and it could be a family with this family tree. It's being announced. It's being announced that this connection has been mended. And we've got a third-party teacher here. They may want to mend this connection as well. But look, dominance. There could be a third-party teacher here who is, they were teaching people how to dominate others. Perhaps they are being dominated now. Take it as it resonates. Third-party enemy teaching people how to dominate others. It's being announced. You're having this connection mended. Something's coming up out of the ice, and somebody is pissed. They don't know what it is. This is a family from centuries back. This is historical, like long gone. They thought that they had exterminated them family. Mythological creatures and stuff. So they're in a Ten of Swords, rock bottom, defeat, utter defeat. They opened the book and they called forth a demon, and it said, "Let me in." So it's like they're not able to tend to their demon. So their demon came and tended to them. They called it forth. They weren't able to give it what they promised, and now they're going for it. Somebody died. Somebody died. They have lost a lover. To the south node, this demon dragged their lover straight to hell. They sabotage themselves by being so damn stubborn. Arrogance. They were coming after your leadership role. That was their goal. They lost their lover to a demon. Casting illusions, mirror magic. They got trapped in the magic. They got trapped in the freaking mirror with this demon. 10 of Wands, overwhelm. Fertility. They've been doing this for centuries. This is overwhelm, man. It's all coming back and it's hitting them now. Every ritual, every death, every freaking light that they freaking extinguished throughout the centuries is hitting them like a ton of bricks right now. They are in a nightmare in their mental body. They're paranoid. They're suffering. They're in darkness, like they can't see anything. This is ending. They're going to go and be with those who they have worshipped, who has been giving them their opportunities. They're going to go live with them now. They're going to go live with their opportunist, or this opportunist is going to go live with those who gave them opportunities. They're trauma bonded. They're trauma bonded. They could be undergoing a trauma bond. Whoever this is, like all those trauma bonds that they put upon people, like the pain and the suffering of that is coming back on them. They could be dealing with people that they trauma bonded to. They're upset. They're afraid. They were not able to steal your destiny. Their destiny has been turned on its head. God said that those who wish to delay other people's purposes will delay their own reward, their own ability to increase, to elevate. They're being watched. They've been being watched. They are being watched. They're afraid. They know they're being watched. They're in a nightmare. They're being watched. They know that everywhere they go, somebody is watching them. Hello, bad guy. Welcome to my life. It's a party. You're going to have to get used to it. 5 of Swords, defeat. They fell into a trap. They were warned not to go into that house. They did not keep the promises they made. They tried to break your heart and your spirit. They did break your heart. They're guilty of doing the very least to gain the very most. They haunted you, and maybe now they're being haunted because you are reunited and you're getting eternal love. You are eternal love. November 1st, 111. 2025, which is a 9, Alpha Omega, I woke to the words, time has stopped. And now everybody who did not qualify for this reunion and this eternal love will be falling away. This winter, there will be a rapid decline in, I suppose, walking corpses. There will be a rapid decline of those who are in corpses, animated corpses, because they can't harvest anybody. They've been cut off from harvesting people. The only people that they can harvest off of now are those people that committed themselves. Those people that committed themselves to this demon are those people who now have to feed it. They're the new fodder because of their routine over and back violation. They were doing crappy stuff with these demons, and then they were asking God to protect them from the retaliation, hiding the fact that they were hurting people. They were transferring the sin of that onto others and then framing them deceitfully in the eyes of God. And now God sees clearly, and it's like, you people are whacked. You know, you were warned not to go into that damn house. What are you doing? 8 of Cups, failed attempt. They're in grief with this pet cemetery. All of those dead people that they gave a synthetic body to, they're mad. And they're taking them out. We got widower here leaving. People are going to be leaving this realm. They are the snack. These who were entertained by feeding on you are the new snack. They're bound to those commitments. that they made, those contracts that they made, because you never gave up hope for loyal love, and you took care of yourself and prepared yourself for it. So they can't keep you from it. Resistance. We've got resistance. They may be resisting, or you are resisting. You're balanced. So you were resisting because you remained balanced. You took care of yourself. You were resisting this nastiness that they were trying to drown you in, and you got congratulations here. Those people who were curious about astral projecting into your house, spying on you, finding out all the details of your life, and then copycatting you, they're making preparations to be the new fodder. They were playing around with you, giving you reasons for survival, and you survived. You remained balanced, and that gave you just the resistance that you needed. These people are worried about survival now. They were playing around. They're afraid. They're afraid. They could be distracted. You've got observation. They feel like they're being watched. You've got some entity in there saying, let me in. They could be having problems with these spirits on the inside of their flesh temple and on the outside of their flesh temple. Their energies and everything else might be getting messed up. They're in upheaval. This whole team that came after you with an upside down perspective, they're all in upheaval. They're in upheaval because whatever they're doing to you is rolling off of you. It can't stick. These people of the night, creating so much mischief, eating the white little mouse, right? The purity, the pure ones. They've been up here snacking on them. God's tired of them feeding on his family. He said that they will be the new fodder. These scavengers of the anomaly of the mother nature are the new fodder. You will no longer be fed on. They're in a battle right now. We've got communication. There could be a fight. People are talking about it. We're going in a new direction because of the insight that you, little golden nugget, they were warned not to go into that house. They went into that house. They grabbed that little golden nugget and they came and put it in their little jar. They were so pleased. They were going to get this massive reward. They were going to be able to have planetary dominance. Oh yeah, it was going to be really great. But you're going in a new direction because they did that. They were warned not to come into that house. They were warned not to play with that little golden nugget, and they did it anyway. And now they got wrath, man. They got wrath coming on them because you are free and you are protected in this whole territory. All of your territory is protected. They cannot curse your land. They cannot curse your business. They cannot curse your world, your life, anything. It's done for them. It's done for them. Because what they have been doing, what these ghosts have been doing in this sacred space has been exposed. You exposed it, Golden Nugget, because you survived. They came into your house that they were warned to stay out of. They grabbed up that little golden nugget and took it back with them and then stuffed you in a freaking hellhole. For centuries, they kept on doing magic on you to try to get you buried there, and that's ending. It's over. It's done. They cannot trap you. They cannot keep you. These ghosts, because they were committed to keeping their distance and an empty nest. They wanted an empty nest. No more humans were supposed to be born. They had a deal. This curator, his instruction was to life, to flip life, to transform it, to transform life, to transform the planet, to terraform everything, and to alter the life form that gets to live here. He was in charge of that. And now he's upset because God said, oh no, you were not supposed to come here and do that kind of crazy crap. And now all y'all are going to get wrath. You are the new fodder for these pet cemetery demons that you've been calling up and having do your bidding. Yeah, you're going to be the new snack. You're the new snack for everything. You were warned in the history. You were warned. This whole community of people are being released, or these people are being released from your community because they are a risk. They put your abundance at risk. They feed on the children. They get these relationships, and then they traumatize them and put them in a nightmare so that they can have a loyal servant who will operate out of fear and need. They're in anticipation of being displaced. They got to get out. They're going to get out. They will get out. You have grown here. You have grown. You're seen as a beautiful. You have elevated. Like, they're still down there on the freaking ground, and they're upset because you have elevated. You've gone up like levels, layers, boom, 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 boom. You're way up there. They can't reach you, and they're in grief because you have a heart bond. You have this love bond, and they have been trying to mimic it. So they might try to mimic that they're your person. They've been pretending that they are other people's people. So they get these contracts with people, and then they flip them, sacrifice them, and then replace them with some chick with a dick or whatever. They've been pretending to be you in this relationship, this marriage. Whoever this is, these people sacrifice their wives, their husbands, and then they pretend to be them while leaving them alone. And now you're soaring. You're up there. You have elevated, and you're flying away. You're flying away. These people got to go deal with their demons because their demons are dealing with them. That's just the way it is. They called them forth. That's their intention. That's their contract. That's their loyalty. That's their go-to. That's their preference. They chose that. You had nothing to do with it. All you did was survive. They chose this for themselves because God said their intention shall be their gift. And they didn't see it that way. They always thought that their intention would be your gift, that they were better than you, that you were nothing more than a common peasant. You have no money. Well, because they stole it all. And these arrogant SOBs are so freaking disconnected from love or anything loving that all they want to do is deal with shadow demon and freaking pet cemeteries. They love calling forward the dead and saying, I'm going to give you this body and you're my person now. We're going to go and work this together and do this. But they have to harvest energy in order to keep from decomposing because they're a freaking pet cemetery item. These men and these women who called them forth have to go have sex with them now and dump their life force into them because they signed a contract to feed them. These entertainers signed a contract to go feed people to them, these dead entities that they got some kind of gifts or power from. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I'm going to go ahead and pull one more just because I want to see what's going on with this third-party teacher who is trying to dominate people. Whatever this is coming up out of the ice, man. They're pissed, and the sun is like laughing. The sun is laughing because the children are free. The children are on that horse. See this little dude here? Look at that dude. Wait, hold on. Look at this dude. This dude, this King of Swords in the reverse, this trickster, was trying to ride in on a freaking horse and have itself seen as some Christed being. And now you've got the true son. They're on their horse. Look, it's a child. And they're laughing. They're smiling. This arrogant King of Swords in the reverse was trying to fool everybody into believing that they were this. They got rejected. They got rejected because they're no longer attached to the luck of the oracle, the abundance of the oracle, the messaging of the oracle. They don't have that connection anymore. It's obvious they're a fraud. They were pulling up your damn seeds. You're tired of dealing with these animals who neglected everybody and everything for privilege. They're like, oh, I'm so much better than you. But you're not love. You don't care about anything. You're just a freaking snob who hurts people and makes certain that they are not advancing by pulling up their own seeds, by sabotaging their own creations. But you were able to preserve yourself, and now luck isn't on their side. Luck is not on their side. These animals are out of luck. King of Cups is dealing with the midnight gremlins who were tempted by the snake. You have no reason to sigh. There is a plan for some kind of a ceremony, regarding this star seed, whose values are not all about money. We have aligned values. There was an absent father, absent mother, who was a negative influence, a narcissistic, absent father, leaving you exposed to all of these negative influences. The little crap head, the little head full of crap. Yeah, he's wandering around out there thinking he's so great, leaving you exposed to all these negative influences. This narcissist, they didn't give a shit about the children. They were hoping that you would fail and that they could get humanity to be seen as a failure. They left you there. They didn't guide you. They didn't teach you. They didn't want you to be your greatest. They wanted you to fall into the pit of hell and then do nothing more than what they told you could do from a distance, because they're an absent father, narcissist, too full of themselves. And you're a freaking starseed. Your values are all in proper alignment. You're not this freak, man. You're not this freak, this narcissistic freak. King of Swords in the reverse, a trickster, drowning. They are going under because everybody can see that they are not a Christ. They're not a savior. They're not anybody special. They're not related to God. They don't believe in God. They believe in this shadow demon, and they're trying to cast the illusion, but they've lost connection to the oracle and to the mental of the oracle. They don't have access to this messaging, and so they can't pull it off. They're not perfect. They got disconnected from the oracle's luck. Manifest. They can't manifest. The oracle is absent. They're trying to do magic, but they're not seen as perfect. It could be that you're lucky. They're not perfect. They took shortcuts trying to get into your luck, your lucky life. They were trying to manifest off this oracle, but they can't because the oracle is missing. They're not there anymore. The Empress has her protector. Her protector is in the closet or has been released from the closet. Anybody coming into this Empress's house that they were warned to stay out of, or they're gonna get ripped up and they're gonna have a slow, painful death. Because Cujo's here, and Cujo isn't just your regular dog, I'm gonna bite you up. No, Cujo has some good stuff. Cujo has some good stuff inside of them that's gonna cause you to have a slow and painful death. You gotta face it. Because the truth has set this person free, this Empress free. You were constantly stressing her out in the mental body. There is an understanding of this. Stay in your own lane. She has the gifts. She is the gift. And you got this King of Swords here in the reverse. This trickster who has been rejected because they can't cast the illusion that they are her because they don't have connection to her. They're going to stay in their own lane. There's an understanding of what they've been doing. This Empress remained stable, rational, and balanced throughout all of this nastiness. And it was prophesied that it was going to be this way. She has the gifts. She is the gift. You had a narcissist trying to compete with a starseed whose values were completely opposite. Gold, a freaking gold digger, man. They have nothing of value to offer anybody except brutality and freaking dominance. Do as I say or I'm going to freaking RAP you. Bend over. Assume the position. You're not a trickster, Empress. You're here in service to people. You're not casting any illusions, but these ones did. 7 of Cups and a Daydream. They cast illusions out here twice. You got a troll out here reaching for you, trying to connect to you because they want to be attached to your money. There's unfinished business here. Mother Nature will run her course regardless of what this narcissistic worshiper of death and player with the dead does. It does not matter. They got to go have sex with the dead forever now. They got to give their life force to this dead because they contracted with it and promised it. We've got, you will be traveling soon. So you're not a trickster. You're going to be traveling soon. You're here in service, Empress. You're going to be getting getting a dream. Got some money here. The sun, a rebirth. Somebody has been rebirthed. There's somebody reborn. Something came up out of the ice. They're pissed off. They could be at a distance. This is a surprise. This is, its origin is your family tree. You've got a family tree here that goes back centuries, and whatever came up out of this water, out of this ice, is pissed. This connection has been mended. There is a podcast. It's been announced. We got third party enemy, teacher, teaching people how to dominate others. They could be getting dominated. They're having health issues. So health issues are arising. So they probably got some kind of incurable STD. They're in a Ten of Swords energy. They called forth demons from the book of shadows, and they were not paying attention to these demons. Now they got to go deal with it. Their shadow demon is dealing with them. They lost. Their lover is in the reverse. They sabotage themselves by being arrogant. They were trying to cast illusions by doing mirror magic. Their goal was to gain your leadership position, and they screwed themselves over bad. This is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, an air sign. They are effed up. And of course, they want to call you a demon because their demons are on their ass now because you're too high vibrational and balanced. It won't stick to you. They can't feed on you. They got to go back and feed on the ones who called them forth and made the deal. They're overwhelmed because there's centuries of magic tricks and sacrifices that they have done here. They're in grief because all of the people that they put into that cemetery are back. Everybody they called forth, everybody they put in there, you're in trouble. It's ending. Them trauma bonding people in the mental body is ending. They're in a nightmare. They're in a freaking nightmare. They're suffering. They did not get your destiny. They're afraid now because everybody's watching them. They're being let go. They're under surveillance. And they're being let go to make room for the love that's on its way to you now. And that is here with the ruins as well. They're in grief because they're in ruins. Everything is falling away for them to make room for the love that you deserve. This whole planetary system has a lot of life forms here that do not belong. They were allowed entry because these ones had trapped the Empress and then tapped her mind, and they were accessing the gatekeeper's job. She's the gatekeeper. Permission granted or denied comes from this mother who is here to support and to be of service to life. And you got a lot of dead people, a lot of demons, a lot of shitheels that have been here feeding on her and others of her family. They thought that they had exterminated them all. These are really bad people. We got date night. So routine date night. They've been over and back, crossing the half-court line. Over and back. They've been sleeping with the dead. They've been sleeping with the living. They've been date nighting. They've been going out on dates, making promises, and then they lied and cheated and stealed and stuck them routinely into the shadows. Fed them to this thing. They were told not to go in that damn house. They're being haunted now. They were guilty of haunting you. Now they're being haunted. They're in despair because you are reunited, reconciled, emancipated, and you're coming into eternal love. Somebody loves you. Somebody loves you, and these people are in despair because they're pissed, and these people are getting their asses handed to them. They entered the wrong house. They were warned not to enter this particular house, and they did it anyway. And they were ruthless. So they're disappointed. They have failed. You're not opening your heart to them anymore. These people have been feeding on your family. There's no more empathy for them. There's apathy. They're not worthy of your time, your attention, your services. They've been feeding human beings to this shadow demon for centuries with their little rituals, and it's all catching up to them. You've got a new beginning here. You've got a new beginning here. It could be that somebody who's doing love spells, trying to gain a new beginning, is having challenges. You're not opening your heart. You are protected. And this person, we're getting divorced. Out of this confused sexuality bullshit, it's getting divorced off of the territory, out of here. The children don't need to be dealing with this kind of crap, teacher. You and your third-party enemies coming in and giving health issues to people, dominating their lives, effing up their happiness. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs you in their life. And nobody, any parent, you know, that actually cares about family is going to want you near their children. You got to go. You got to get out. You weren't supposed to be here in the first place. So use caution. They want to come back and they want to gain a commitment because they want to be in this cycle with you. They want to get you pregnant. So be patient because you've got a liar here. Give it time. Okay, do your research, or you could have a spy in the distance that's wanting to take a gamble on a fire sign. Okay, the answer is no. You're going to go the hell away. You're going to go back to do whatever you want to do, whatever love spell, whatever kind of magic you're doing, it's going right back on you and it's going to slap you right up your face and you're going to love it. You're going to love it because there's a change of residence happening. Somebody is moving. There's an intimate partner that's moving in with somebody. Could be a water sign, using their intuition. But, you know, we've got communication from a third party here, an earth sign wanting to make a confession about pets. You're unavailable. It's time for them to move on. Take that as it resonates. What else do I got for you here? I guess I'll pull these. May as well. Somebody says, that's too many cards. Well, no. It is what it is. So these marriages, you're calling judgment. Married couples are calling judgment on these animals who have been effing up people's mental bodies and putting grief into their lives. The lives of abundant, limitless beings with their freaking adversity, blaming them for their crap, blaming loving people for their crap. Oh, man. Third party, malicious hoe bags coming in, sexing you up, and then downloading all of their karma and all their sin and all of their nastiness onto you and then forcing you to take care of it. And then they call you a commoner and a peasant and all this stuff. Why? Because you're their recycler, you're their toilet. They think of you like a toilet. All they got to do is come in and sleep with you and then download everything. And then they're like, yeah, you're a toilet. I just took a big piss all over you. How about that? They love it. These intimate unions, these hit and quit it, or these frivolous, meaningless, freaking passionate affairs, is just a transference of energy and sin. And people, they've really gone for it. They really loved it. Oh yeah, let's go get it on. They're either participating or they're just ignorant. And most of these people aren't ignorant. They're very aware of what they're doing. You are in your purpose. Luck is not on their side because you're in your purpose. You were able to preserve yourself from this neglect. We've got the King of Cups dealing with gremlins who were tempted by the snake. There's no reason to sigh. There is a plan for a ceremony. Or maybe there's a schedule here. This magic this narcissist was doing to try to get you absent with these negative influences, trying to get you seen as though you were a negative influence. It's very clear that your values are on the up and up. You're a star seed. You are balanced. You're balanced. You're harmony. You are perfect harmony in this world. And these folks are creatures of the other kind. This is a King of Swords in the reverse, a brutalizer dictator. This is a trickster, and they're drowning. They're going under. They were rejected. They tried to ride in on their horse and have them seen as some savior or some Christ, and they got rejected. They got rejected. They're not perfect. They tried to take shortcuts. People can see that. They were trying to manifest off of this oracle, but this oracle is absent, and they can't tap that now. We've got blame. They have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. They're being rejected. They're not able to blame this oracle, this Empress. So the Empress, her Cujo is out of the closet, and anybody tries to mess with this Empress is going to be meeting the beast. You are in trouble because you got to face it. The truth has set her free. You were constantly messing with her mind. Nightmares, sleepless nights, driving soap operas of self-loathing, of anger, of memories of betrayal, of this heartache, this pain. You kept putting it on her. This gold digger was after her gifts. They're being told to stay in their own lane. There's an understanding of what they were doing. Her balance, her reliability, her steadiness, her stability, all of that was prophesied. It was all prophesied that this divine mother, who is of service, she's not a trickster. This guy is. This clown, this freaking King of Swords in the reverse, he's a trickster. He tried to swap identities with this Empress. He tried to get her to be seen as a trickster, as a violator, full of malice, but it didn't work because he got disconnected from the oracle's mind. He can't receive the messaging. He's not perfect. He's not a Christ. He doesn't have connection to Source. He doesn't have connection to the Most High God. This Empress is here in service. She feels good when she can help others. There's an understanding of this. She's not a trickster. Again, she's here in service. There's unfinished business with this troll. They've been 7 of cupsing her and casting illusions for a long, long time. Nature is going to run its course regardless of what they do. This is the mother. Mother Nature will run her course and be in her purpose regardless of the magic that they do. This troll is having a freaking dream. They're under an illusion. They're reaching out for love. They need to get connected to this money. They want to reach out for your money. They're fantasizing about it. They got to surrender their need to control it. It's not theirs, it's yours. They got to get out. Mother Nature, which is what this Empress is, she is the planetary guide. She's here in service. She is the perfect harmony and balance for this world. She brings it to this world. She's a starseed. Her values are not about money. She's very much in line with life and what life needs. They got this narcissist here trying to bring adversity to this woman. This mother figure, they're so mad. They call her sanctimonious. They say that she feels she is better than everybody else. And it's just not true. She is eternal love. And these guys are freaking shadow demons playing with Pet Cemetery. And they say she feels she's better than us. And it's like, no, she doesn't. She just is different than what you are. You chose to go play with demons and the dead. And she chose to pour her life and all of her gifts into the living. There's a vast difference between you. And you cannot tell the world how this Empress feels about herself. She doesn't see herself as better than. She takes all that she is and pours it into everybody else so that they will be lifted. She's not standing up from some freaking pedestal saying, I am better than thou. I've got the golden dress. I do everything perfectly. I am royalty. I am your goddess. She doesn't do that. She's one of the citizens. She's one of the people. She walks among the people. She finds out what the people need. She provides it. She finds out the status of their hearts, what's going on in their minds, what's going on in their communities, and she offers a solution for it. These third-party enemies who sleep with and dump their life force into the dead, these shadow demons, they made their choice. And they're upset that they aren't her. She's not a trickster. They are. Whatever came up out of the ice, this sun, they melted the ice, something came up out of the ice. Somebody is pissed. They are pissed. This is a relative. It was in the water. It's up out of the water. Surprise, freaking prize, bad guy. The connection has been mended. Health. We got health again. There's health issues arising for this third party hoe bag, this teacher that was teaching others how to dominate others. They could be getting dominated. They're in a 10 of swords, 10 of wands energy. This teacher is screwed for what they have been doing on a routine with date night. They've been getting a relationship and then flipping and copycatting and twisting and turning and causing so much suffering, so much nightmare, so much trauma. This is what they wanted for the world. This Empress does not want that for the world. And they tried to get this Empress seen as them by dressing up these copycats in her energy and having them go do all kinds of heinous things. They lied, they lied, they lied. They're criminals in the worst way. So we've got 10 of swords. This person, this entity, this woman, whoever this is, she's reading from that book. She may have even shared it with her child. She's got the child there on the bed with her as she's reading a book, summoning this demon. And now it's after her. It's got her. It swallowed her up. Let me in. They took her out. They did not pay attention to their demons. They were not able to feed that demon. And now that demon is feeding on them. They have lost. Their lover is in the reverse. They sabotage themselves by being so stubborn. This is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They were doing mirror magic. Their goal was to gain your leadership position. There's no grief here. You're not in grief about it. They sabotage themselves. That demon has ate them. They ate them right up. They took that lover out. 10 of Wands, overwhelmed, overworked by all of the fertility. It added up over the centuries. All of these many rituals. Burning Man, Stonehenge, Druid magic, destiny swapping. All of that is coming back. Mask of the rabbit, mask of the fish, mask of the goat. It's all there on their little time square. Oh, it's so fun. And it's ending. It's ending. They're pretending it's not ending, but it is ending. They are in their room. They might be trauma bonded. They feel like everybody's watching them. They're suffering with their mental health, this persecution that they had you in for decades, perhaps lifetimes. They're afraid now because they did not get your destiny. They're being watched. Everybody's watching them, and they're being let go. These people are being let go. You can be certain that this pet cemetery, every shadow demon that they have been doing work with over the centuries is on their ass now, because God said, you will not feed on my family. You know what he did? He said, since you lied about this Empress, that means you lied about everybody. This Empress is the freaking mother in service to the planet. And these ones tried to frame her as being a terrorist so that they could terraform and then alter the genetics of everybody and destroy God's family. And God said, I'm tired of you feeding on my family. All of you are going to be the new fodder. You're going to honor these contracts with these dead people that you were warned about worshiping. You were told not to do this. You were told specifically not to go into the house of this Empress, but you did it anyway. You effed up, man. It's all on you. It's nobody else's fault but yours. And they're going around trying to look, they're afraid. They're afraid here because of the truth. The truth is out. You're seen as an honest person. You're not pulling any punches. You're like, look, God, I'm not perfect. I got flaws. I got flaws, man. I'm doing things that maybe I shouldn't be doing. You know, I occasionally smoke herb. And apparently, I don't know, there's some folks out there who say it's a bad thing. You know, even though we've had doctors, like back in the day when cigarettes first came out, oh, it'll ease your anxiety. It'll make you feel so much better. It's a healthy thing to do. And they had the whole freaking world hooked on smoking. Trust the science. We're not messing with your head or your life. We're not causing you to get addicted to anything. Oh no, we want the best for you. Look, they're unsuccessful. Okay, so this is what we got. We got a teacher who's being dominated right now, or they were unsuccessful in dominating you. Why? Because God said, absolutely not. You are done feeding on my family. I'm sick of you feeding on my family. That's it. That's it. Oh, I'll put that over here. They're being let go because they were unsuccessful. There's no love in them. They're full of malice. They were trying to project their own personality onto this Empress. She suffered greatly for it. But now Cujo is her friend. This gold digger better watch himself. Her heart is closed. They're in an 8 of Cups, disappointment, and pet cemetery grief. All the children that they called forth from this place, all of the women, those little women, look, they're wandering around. They're starting to decompose. They've been cut off from the stars. God said, if you lied about this Empress, you lied about all of the other ones. And there has been, what's that word? Clemency. Clemency has been issued for all of those earth angels that they stuck in the shadows because they deceitfully set them up for failure and then convicted them of being that. So God pulled up all of those shining ones, all of those earth angelics, because these ones were traitors. They did it on purpose, and these ones were innocent. They weren't that. They were not this. They were victims. Set up, framed. Set up and framed. So now they're in a freaking disappointment because they have to leave. They have to leave. The things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love you deserve. Somebody has become a widower. Okay, we've got lover in the reverse. They have lost. They were not tending to this shadow demon. This shadow demon said, you called me forward. You said I get to eat something, and therefore I'm going to eat you or eat whatever it is. They ate somebody. Somebody got dragged down to hell. They are the snack. This is entertainment. This could be an entertainer. They're bound to the commitment of feeding this demon. Your heart isn't open to them. You never gave up hope for an intimate, loyal union. You took care of yourself. You prepared yourself for that union. You stayed balanced. You were resisting this pet cemetery, dead people, cursing, hexing, freaking centuries deep immorality and betrayal. You offered resistance, and you're not opening your heart to these guys. They may come forward. You know what? Somebody said, we'll do whatever we have to do to make this right. Well, bull pucky, man. It's been centuries, and every treaty and every contract and every agreement that was ever made with these ones was flipped and twisted and dropped. Like a freaking hot potato. You have grown in consciousness and awareness. You know this is true. You're not opening your heart to these demons that want to snack on you. It's done. You're done with it. They don't know what to do. They have absolutely no idea what to do because you are choosing to focus on the lighter side of life. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to, and you're in relationships that serve the higher good. This is where we're going. We have grown and expanded. We know what we're looking for. We know narcissistic traits. We know the traits of these tricksters. Even when you're alone, you're never alone, and you trust that inner voice that guides you, and it guided you right into perseverance. You overcame all of these horrendous challenges, and then you came forward and you presented evidence that proves them guilty. They want forgiveness. Everything happens in divine order. They could be this forgiveness. It could be that you're just releasing. You're releasing the blockages that inhibit the flow of love in divine order. Friendships, you and your friends that are in your life for a good reason, you are free. These ones have failed. The earth angels are free. Humanity has been given a pass. What is that? Leniency. There's something going on because they tainted the food supply to get everybody looking like they were cannibals. They tainted everything. They poisoned, toxified, tainted. They wanted to get humanity to be seen guilty of their own deeds. They set them up, man. There's acceptance. There's acceptance of a change. They got to accept the things that cannot change. There is a change here. They're in doubt. They are receiving a denial because of the adversity. This Empress doesn't want to serve any of them. She knows that they have been sacrificing her human family, that they tried to exterminate her human family, and she's not offering them any services. They have to leave. That's it. They are not welcome here. We've got gratitude and courage here. So there's inner strength, there's confidence, facing fear with confidence, grateful and thankful for this life and the opportunities it presents, even the nasty ones, because you found out a whole bunch of stuff about yourself, and you found out a whole bunch of stuff about what these people were doing to your family, and you were able to bring forth all of that evidence, irrefutable evidence. They cannot deny it. It is what it is. This is death. There's a death to these envious people, and they're in regret. They're dying. They're going to transition and be placed into a circumstance that, that they'll have to deal with. Their prideful people are under judgment. All the negative energy is being released to make room for peace. This peace. You're a being of love, and you're releasing that negative energy from love. You're an abundant, limitless being. You can manifest whatever you want in this physical reality. You have a beautiful mind, and these people were trying to destroy your mind with their technology, forcing these soap operas and these words and thoughts of self-loathing and devaluing yourself, hating yourself. That was their words. That was their soap opera, and they were forcing it in on you. Happy people, happy, abundant people. They were forcing self-loathing into your mind. You have benefits of the soul, gifts of the soul that benefit you and others. And the thing is that they wanted to trap that, and they wanted to be seen as that. They wanted your leadership role, but they're not you. They're a trickster, and they can't do what it is. They can't be what it is you are. Even if they were to consume your fluids and your flesh as a Christed being, they could not be what you are, because at their core, they're a freaking dead animal. They're a freaking dead animal. They're a walking corpse. They have no morals, no ethics, and no care for anybody. They just don't want to go back in the hole. Problem is, they're going to have to. They're worried. They're worried about it because you are empathic. You're open to seeing both sides of a situation very clearly, and you are love. You're committed to practicing seeing the good things in love. You are this person. God sees you as this. Every empathic thing, everything that they forced into your empathic mind. So your empathy, you feel for others. You care for others. You want to help others. God said you were too forgiving. Centuries went by of this abuse, and you kept forgiving them. But now there's a new definition to forgiveness. Forgiveness is release. Forgiveness is making the decision that you're no longer going to carry around the health problems and issues of your enemies. You're not required to serve your enemies when they're trying to serve you to a shadow demon. No longer will you be required to serve them. Absolutely not. God's kicking them all off the foundation, these mass prayers. They're getting hit like a ton of bricks. Every single ritual, every sacrifice, everything that's coming from beyond the grave, it's here to get them now. And they say, oh, the demons were released. No, this is your work. This is a return on the work that you've been doing. These are your loves, man. And also those you trapped there, you deserve it. You owe a debt to love. A big debt. Huge. Any starseed that you put in the shadow realm, they will feed on you. You will be their fodder. You will feed them. You will work for them. You will serve them. Or perhaps God will just give you nothing but suffering because he doesn't want you in their energy anymore. Whatever it is, it's over. It's over. You got some pissed off, person that you don't even know what it is. This is a surprise coming up out of the icy water. The sun has melted it, and there has been a rebirth from this family tree. Centuries gone by. Mythology is here to swallow these demons whole. The mythology of centuries gone by. These mythological creatures that were once your family, that they thought they had exterminated with all of these rituals over the centuries. They were told not to come into your house. This particular house. You are what the world needs. You are what the world needs. And you got some big bad boogeyman out there wanting your position. And they're not going to get it. They're coming after this Empress. But the Empress has protection that these ones don't know how to deal with. They're going to disappear rapidly over the winter. Next spring, I had a vision of a violet sunrise. Everything was this beautiful violet color. When you see that day in the spring, it could mean that it's over and that everything is brand new. There is a great healing upon the earth, and it will happen. It will happen. But this winter, there's going to be chaos, and there's going to be some falling away. There's going to be some suffering. Don't get lost or caught up in it, for sure. You're an ancient being. Ancient. You've been here since the beginning. And as far as I know, what the story that these ones have been painting about your history, about Neanderthals, about all the other life forms, it's a lie. As far as I'm concerned, it's a freaking lie. These guys have been lying about everything. They've been trying to cast humanity as though they're nothing more than an animal. And that's false. You're the original that they have been trying to mimic and alter to improve their own lineage. They wanted to fuse themselves with you and your spiritual, soul-connected family so that they could tap that inheritance, that wealth of that soul-connected family, and then drain it. But guess what? Those soul-connected families, they're here right now and they're pissed. Your upper dimensional families and those that these ones had done magic and bound into the ice, I'm telling you what, God has got friends everywhere, man, and not all of them are human. God's offering a human experience to specific life forms, but that's neither here nor there. Whatever God and Goddess, Mother, Father allow and permit on the territory, on the domain, on the planetary domain, is not going to hurt the people. But you got these others, these trickster thieves that are out here calling them forth in order to devour God's people. And now God said they're the new fodder. They will no longer be feeding on his family. Enough is enough. That's it. These tricksters are going away. That's it. I imagine that anybody who offers a confession or some assistance to tear this down might get some kind of a leniency or a credit. They probably will have to have their mind wiped of whatever this information, this forbidden magic and the ability to twist people like this. It might have to be wiped from their mind in this new thing. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I'm not God. I'm just telling a story. And I hope that this brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I'll see you on the next one, everybody. They're afraid. They were warned. They were warned not to come into this house. They were warned not to come into the house of eternal love and be shitty. The truth is out. They've been found guilty. And there's no more opening your heart to vampiric entities who have nearly destroyed humanity. That's it. It may seem vicious, You know, somebody's out there saying you can't save anybody if you can't save everybody. And the fact of the matter is that these entities, they can't be here present with the children. Look at them. There's a child there with a knife in its hand. You can't put that with a child of love and expect everything to be fine. The mother and the father have to make these decisions. They got to make it a safe place for the children so that they don't have to deal with this stuff, man. It's called protection. It's called being in service. It's called elevation. We don't want our generational lineages, our family trees, the children, 28, 30, however many generations down the road, we don't want them to be dealing with freaking destiny thieves and, you know, having to be trauma bonded to people.